So hey Bubble family, and to all new people watching this video today, whether you have decided to just come along for the first time to see what I'm about, or whether you've just subscribed to my channel, welcome. If you would like to know a little bit more about me and the channel that I have here and the Bubble family, what it means and what we're all trying to do here as part of this little community, there is an intro video which is on my main YouTube page. So please go across and check that out if you want to know anything more about what I'm trying to do here. Now, if you want to watch this video, this is one is going to be talking about, yes, the podcast that has finally been uploaded by Meghan Markle. So if you would like to join me in this discussion, you know what to do by now. Yes, sit back, relax, grab your drink of choice, whether it be tea, whether it be coffee, whether it be water, whether it be like I have got today in my lovely mason jar, a tropical fruit water, whether it be, you know what, you might not even want a drink. You might want to have some chocolate whilst you're watching this video. Or if you do what some people do and you would like to add a little something, a little alcoholic something to your drink of choice, because as I always say, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. So grab it and let's drive right in. Drive right in. No, we're not driving anywhere. Dive right in. Cheers. I've just taken a sip of drink and spilt it down myself. I'm at that stage where I'm possibly needing a bib. So welcome guys, welcome to Let's Talking About, the podcast that is everywhere and not for the right reasons. It seems that this one is just as unpopular as the other one that they did. Well, when I say they started off as a they, but now it's me. It's all about Meghan. So I've had a few emails and comments saying, please talk about the podcast. We need your therapeutic perspective on this. And so, well, as always, I like to oblige, and here I am. So yes, the podcast. Oh. Firstly, let's talk about the little intro bit that she did where she sits and says, this is going to be the real me, the me that nobody has ever seen yet. You know, they've just seen what the media presents. And I'm like, hi, hey, this is me. Oh, please. Please. You are no different to how you've been anywhere else. The only difference being is that actually the media, some of the media, should I say, portray the truth, the truthful side of you. You know, it fascinates me how she comes on camera or she comes on this podcast, and just because she says it doesn't make it fact. You know, and let's be honest, actually listening, and I haven't listened to the whole of the podcast because I just couldn't. But I have seen some of the transcript, thanks to, is it Harry Markle, the blog? If you haven't read Harry Markle's blog, you must do. I will put a link in the description if you haven't read. It's very funny. It actually is very her. You know, when you're listening to it, it's word salad, tick, lying, tick, embellishing, tick, using somebody to keep you relevant, tick, talking about herself consistently, tick, embellishing on stories, tick, pretending to be a feminist, tick. So yeah, I think actually this is the real Meghan, but that isn't a Meghan we haven't seen before. This is Meghan as we've always seen her, as we know of her. You know, of course, there's gonna be her diehard fan base that could be, oh, you know, this is so amazing, and then she's with Serena. Well, interestingly, wasn't in Tom Bower's book, and I'm assuming that he either spoke to Serena or he spoke to somebody around Serena that said that they're not really friends. She just knows her. But suddenly they're best buddies, apparently now. But conveniently, this comes out when Serena is in her transition to the next phase in her life. She's retiring from, albeit she doesn't like to use the word retiring, but retiring from tennis. So in a way, I feel this is a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours type of thing. It's like, yeah, I'll come on and do your podcast, but we are going to talk about the fact that I'm doing this next phase. It's like it's going to, you know, because Serena probably recognizes that even though Meghan is not well liked, she still brings attention. She still brings controversy. So that will highlight her anyway. But the fact that it's kind of portrayed, like I say, that they are just the best buddies is just yeah, it's quite nauseating, really. So obviously we have the fact that in this podcast, Meghan, that it's just so contrived. I mean, originally, was this not going to be her and Harry? Was it talking about real people, real issues, highlighting all of those things? Well, it's gone from that to let's talk to celebrities and talk about their hardships. Now, I'm not saying that Serena hasn't gone through hardships. I'm sure she did initially. I'm sure she did when she was working her way up in tennis. You know, and there's no doubt that she has worked incredibly hard. Whether you like her as a person or don't like her as a person, I'm neither one nor there. I don't know enough about her to say whether I like her or don't like her. But you cannot deny that she is a very gifted tennis player and she's done incredibly well. So again, you have this complete polar opposite to Meghan, who has not worked her way up. She hasn't worked hard at anything apart from giving the performance of her life in manipulating and maneuvering her way into various circles. Oh, I believe she worked hard at that. That's the only area, in my opinion, that she's worked hard at is grifting. She was given everything by her father, and then when she just detached from her father, her mum then took over because her mum had the inheritance, and so her mum helped her out. Then she got with various boyfriends and then married Trevor, and he helped her out and he supported her financially while she was attempting to go for acting jobs. Then it was Corey, and then it was, you know, and then Harry. She's not worked in any shape or form to get where she has, like I say, aside from being a hard-working grifter. So the fact that she kind of tries to align herself with people who have potentially worked hard is quite interesting. But what's even more interesting is that they almost allow her to do it, which makes me think that this is, again, a business arrangement. It's like, yeah, I'll come on your podcast if you talk about, you know, what's going on for me and the next phase and things like that. I will come on and do that. But again, what we notice throughout is that Meghan overtalks Serena, creates everything to be about her. And then not only that, she talks about this, obviously the fire, alleged fire that happened. But she makes it sound like it's this little apartment, and I'm going to put a picture up here of where she was actually staying. But funnily enough, in 3 years, no mention of this alleged fire that potentially would have hurt Archie. So this was also in the fact that she stood there in Africa saying, oh, I'm so, you know, no one's ever asked me if I'm okay, whilst, you know, poor families, while she's staying in this huge mansion, and, you know, across the way, you know, there are ravaged families and the poorest of conditions where women are and men are beaten, abused, everything. And she stands there going, no one's asked me if I'm okay. And again, somehow the media portray her to be a victim. rather than actually calling her out and saying, how disgusting, how utterly deplorable are you to stand there after being involved in the royal family, after literally having everything you could possibly want growing up, to stand there and say that no one has asked you if you're okay. Publicly to state this. After seeing everything that you've seen, that should have humbled you. That should have humbled you, and you should have thought, you know what? I'm feeling sorry for myself, and I need to give myself a bit of a slap round the head there, because I have just seen the most vilest conditions, heard the most horrendous, horrific stories from these women and men, and yet I'm feeling sorry for myself. She really needed at that point to give herself a reality check, but she didn't. She made it about her, and yet again the media played right into her hands and created her to be the victim up against the terrible royal family. And she's done it again in this story. So Serena comes out with a story about her child, how she was at Wimbledon, and then this situation happened with her child, who I think broke her wrist. And so she's talking about this story, and suddenly, out of nowhere, Meghan's like, oh my gosh, that's just reminded me about a situation that could have potentially hurt my own child. So in 3 years, because I'm sorry, if that had actually happened, that would be drilled into your memory. It would be drilled into your memory. But she never mentioned it in the interview. She never mentioned it in Oprah. She never mentioned it at any point anywhere else until, funnily enough, Serena brings the attention to her, and she can't have that. Oh, no, we can't have Serena having some attention. So I've got to trump Serena's story with a story about Archie. So, of course, all in the media today is her story about how Archie's life was in danger. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. And this alleged nanny, Lauren, conveniently, let's mention her name, but we don't mention her second name because then no one can check her out, had the foresight to, in that moment, take Archie down for a snack. And it was in that moment that the heater caught fire. Yeah, let's look at the fact that when they were there, it was in the height, it was summer. It was like, was it 30 degrees? So who's putting a heater on in a nursery in 30 degree weather or whatever it is? I call BS. But of course, the media, I say some of the media, because actually some, especially here in the UK, have called her out. But of course, anywhere else, people are kind of like, oh, well, if Meghan says it, it must be true. How are these people so ridiculously stupid that they don't fact check before they print something? So, okay, Meghan said this story. Let's fact check that to see if it's potentially true. First and foremost, a royal tour is documented. I'm pretty sure that if that had happened, it would have been documented. So, first and foremost, do not believe this story. So one of two things has happened. Either she's made that up to trump Serena's story just there, or maybe there was something tiny that happened and she's embellished on it and added Archie into the mix. Because we have to throw in the children somewhere to create it more relevant. And so, of course, yes, like I say, in the media this morning is all about her and nothing to do with Serena. So if I was Serena, I'd be fuming. I would be fuming. Because the whole point, I would be guessing, is that this was supposed to be highlighting also Serena. Because when you have a guest on your show, like even for example, when I have a guest on, even here, like when I've had guests, you let them do most of the talking. They're your guest. But Meghan doesn't. She overtalks her. She, you know, and there's a few times when you can kind of hear Serena go, as if to say, oh, Lord, we're back to you again, are we? Back to you. It's all about you. But, you know, at the end of the day, Serena should know what Meghan's like by now. So more for her for going on and doing it. You're dealing with a narcissist. A narcissist is never going to allow you to have that attention. They're always going to take that back and make it about them. They're always going to be the potential victim. This reminds me of when she, the alleged suicide story come out. Alleged. Now, there was a lot of kind of people talking about this. It was all in the media again because she's a victim again. And again, this comes down to this real feminist side that she thinks that she is. First and foremost, I dislike this aspect of feminism. Because to me, the way she's portraying things, it feels like she's segregating men. And I really do feel the more this goes on, the more I actually think that she actually doesn't like men. And if you look at the fact that she doesn't even respect her own father, it is not a far stretch to think that she doesn't respect Harry. She doesn't respect any men whatsoever. And to me, that is also going against how we should be as a human race. You know, for me, it's building people up. And it's not just women, it's men too. You know, it's not about emasculating a man to make me feel good. You know, you build a person up. If someone is in need of support, you support them. You know, if, like, for example, if I have people on my channel, like you've seen me do in the comments, if I see someone suffering, a lot of the time I will pin that comment to the top. So then it encourages, hopefully, other people to go and support that person if they're feeling a bit lonely or whatever it is. I have I have Trevor, who's a male friend, and if he needs support, I support him outside of that, as he does me. You know, I have female friends that I support. You know, you don't segregate and be like, oh, well, you're more deserving of support because you're a female and because it's all about sisterhood. You know, she picks and chooses who she supports in conjunction with who she needs. Because if she really was this, even though I dislike the word feminist, why has she not supported Catherine? Why has she not supported her sister? Why has she not supported the Queen and not attacking the royal family? The very institution the Queen has worked so hard to cultivate. Her very legacy she has tried to tarnish. She's not a feminist, if you want to use that term, at all. She is a self-serving, narcissistic personality, which makes it all about them. Period. They don't care about anybody else. No matter who you are, they will use you if they think they can, and they will drop you when they have no more need of you. Don't ever be mistaken to think a narcissist personality disorder type will change. They won't. So then you have this, like I say, this story that she come out with the alleged suicide. Now, I believe this was probably in an argument because, again, she brought out this exaggerated, well, I was forced to go out that evening. And when the lights went down, I sobbed. Or did you have a makeup team down in the gallery there then? That every time you bowed your head and the lights went down, they were there touching your makeup up? Because I'm sorry, but when there was a photograph, you looked flawless. No tear streaks, no fudged makeup, nothing. Grinning from ear to ear. Harry, on the other hand, looked sheepish, crestfallen, upset. He did, but she didn't. She looked like the cat that got the cream, which is what she always looks like. So I'm not sure where this, oh, I sobbed. I seriously, then girl, I want your makeup, because when I cry, I look like a panda. You know, even if I'm wearing waterproof mascara, I have these streaks in my foundation. Just stop lying. Just stop lying. You know, what I believe happened there was they got into this argument. I think she threatened it, because narcissists, again, wouldn't do it, but she threatened it to create manipulation with Harry. But again, the media create her to be the victim, but never question the fact that what's happened then. Because your mental health issues, whatever it was that you were struggling with, seemed to just go poof, disappear. Where'd they go? Because trust me, as a professional, they don't just disappear. They don't. No one questioned the fact that she was wanting to apparently, allegedly, do this while she's allegedly pregnant. Nothing. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows that no matter what she says, the royal family are not going to come out and refute unless they're saying things like recollections may vary, which still leads to speculation. You know, it's still vague. But this could also be a clever ploy, because a lot of people have said, why are the royal family not stopping her? Well, let's look at the fact of what she's achieved, because in my opinion, she's achieved nothing. She's a tag along wherever Harry goes. Hollywood has shut their doors to her. They're not interested. Probably the only friends that she has are the ones that she can manipulate and buy, or they are using her. So not real friends. She does a podcast that no one's really interested in, apart from probably her fan base, who've probably got it on loop. That's it. Every time she opens her mouth, she sounds more ridiculous. She sounds more tone deaf. The fact that people are kind of saying things along the lines of, you know, you've literally got everything and yet you're complaining and you are acting as if you're one of the people. You're really not. Everything she does, she's criticised for. No one aside from clickbait media or her fan base are kind of going, oh my gosh, Meghan's so amazing. Well done to her. Everyone sees through her. Everyone credible, everyone that uses the brain that God gave them actually sees through her. So what has she achieved? An hour podcast talking about herself again. And like I say, in anything that's credible, talking at the UN and Invictus or anything like polo matches, she's just there as a hanger-on. So in a way, by the royal family not doing anything or saying anything, they're kind of almost letting her damage herself. It's like, you know, the only thing that she had that was going to be possibly anything in her eyes was this Pearl at Netflix. That got cancelled. So then you're left with the Invictus, which is to do with Harry, not her. She has nothing. So she has some money. So what? And even that, I'd be a bit remiss to think that they're probably going through that like nobody's business. Probably relying on freebies and things like that, and the donations that they get. And I've said this, I did the Netflix video on Netflix, and because they didn't get the amount that they're pretending they did. And I think this, you know, maybe they got a bit more with Spotify, and which is why now she's having to do the podcast, because I bet Spotify basically said, if you don't do this, you're in breach of contract and we want our money back. So this is why I think that she's now suddenly, because this has been, is it 3 years, 2 years, you know, since they signed the contract, that she's done this. Wow, great. I'm not being funny. If a podcast with Harry and the first time of her son allegedly talking didn't get anywhere, I'm very doubtful this will. The only way this potentially might is because she's gonna grab onto Serena Williams fans who will probably watch it for the fact that Serena Williams is there, not for her. Same with Mariah Carey. You'll get Mariah Carey fan base that will go on and watch this. But like I say, it's interesting as well that she's done this at the same time that Hillary is out and about with Chelsea. At least with Hillary, and I'm not a fan of Hillary at all, but at least with Hillary, she, by the looks of it, she's going out and not just talking with celebrities. And she's certainly talking with a lot more celebrities than Meghan Markle is. But she's also talking to, by the looks of it, everyday people. So at least that's something. Whereas Meghan is just bringing on her fake celebrity friends and talking about herself. How dull. But like I say, you know, let me know what you think in the comments, guys, because, well, even though I'm pretty sure I know you will, I think this is, as always, very contrived, and I don't think it's going to last, because I think Spotify are going to be like, well, we're not getting the views. I think we need to cancel your podcast. People have only joined in now, I believe, because it's the first one, and there's kind of like a morbid curiosity in regards to what she's actually said. But I think, like with everything she does, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, until in the end she's probably going to have her fan base of 5 watching on a loop, and that's going to be it. So yeah, so like I say, let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, or think about even subscribing to my channel so you do not miss further uploads of my videos. Thank you to everybody who has supported me in one way or another. I truly do appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who has come along as a member. I will be doing the new members at another video this week. Don't forget, I'll be doing my live with Trev at some point on Friday. I think it's going to be 7 o'clock, but I will let you know in the community page. Thank you to everybody who has bought my merchandise. Thank you to everybody who is just being amazing in the comments. Thank you for just the support you give me. We are now at 17,400 subscribers. The channel is growing. I'm so excited. So thank you to all of you who are coming on. And I'm about to literally go into another glow. Honestly. So thank you as always. I love you. I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Mwah. Bye, Bubble family. So for those of you who have stayed on for the waffle, welcome. For those of you that are not bothered about the other video but just want to come here for the waffle, welcome. So in today's waffle, I have been really struggling this week. I don't know whether this is down to having the menopause. I am really noticing that I am getting very tired, even more kind of, in a way, forgetful of things. It's a little bit frustrating, because I've always prided myself on someone that, especially with my job and everything else, that I'm pretty good. You know, my memory's always been a little bit kind of off sometimes when I'm, but usually I can explain that. To have this now where, we joke about it on camera where I get my words mixed up. I'm doing that even with work, I'm doing it a little bit. I'm getting a little bit forgetful in some areas, and then in my life, in day-to-day life, I'm forgetting things a lot more, and it's a little bit, I'm going to be honest here, it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit scary. I mean, I do joke about it, but it is actually a little bit scary. It really does create me to feel I don't want to say my age. Maybe that's part of it, maybe feeling my age, but that's not really it. It's just kind of, it just feels a bit really weird that I'm sort of behaving in a way that I've never behaved before. the drippy glows, as we now call them, are there. Though I will say, taking the black cohosh has helped. The fans do help, but it's nighttime. It's, you know, it's just, my body is just so hot, and it's just incredibly uncomfortable, you know, and you feel it coming on. It's almost like you have this kind of raging inferno, and it reminds me of that character on is it the Pixar movie or the Disney movie, the Emotions one, when they're with the anger, where he just goes Wah! And the fire comes out the top of his head. It feels like that. It feels like I can just feel it kind of bubbling up, and I'm like, oh, here we go. And it's just like my face just feels like it's burning up. I just want to go Rah! It's just so, it's like, oh, it's just so unfair. It's like I'm being a proper baby, you know. It's just like, oh, not only do we have periods, we have hormones, we have, you know, I'm not even going to include childbirth in there, because, you know, I know that there are some people that don't go through that, who would like to go through that, so I'm not going to put that in there. But it's just not fair. And like I say, I'm being a real baby about it. But the one good thing is, probably in the winter, I'll still be walking around in t-shirts while everyone else is wrapped up in their woolies, because I'll be just like, no, yeah, just I'm great. I'm super warm. Don't you worry. Don't need to put my heating on. My son will be there. Actually, no, he won't. No, he won't, because he'll be in Australia. So I'll be joining him in a way, because I'll be here in my t-shirt. I'm coming out in sympathy with my son, because he'll be there sunning it in Australia, because that's their summer. And I'll be just there in my t-shirt going, yeah, that's great. I don't need my heating on. I'm going to save my heating bill. But so yeah. So, and even now I can feel it. I can literally feel it. I'm literally sitting here, and I can feel my body starting to just get really hot. Oh, and of course, then I'm reading the comments where people are kind of like, oh no, yeah, this can go on for years. Literally years. Well, that's just great. That's just great. So I did want to talk about the video that I was going to do. I'm going to have to do that tomorrow, about the body shaming thing. So I'm going to do that tomorrow, because obviously today, you know, there obviously was this need to talk about the podcast. She really is unbelievable, isn't she? She really is. She's so manipulative that she will do whatever it takes. You know, she's manipulated her way into the British royal family, and she's doing something to create herself to stay there. You know, the royal family are not stupid. They know what she's like. They will have gone through her past. They know who she is. They know her family. There will be a reason, which I think in the beginning they didn't want to go against Harry because they love Harry. But there'll be a reason why now she's still in there. Because I don't believe they're together. I really, really don't. I don't believe they're in love. I do not believe they're this happy family that they pretend that they are. So there's a reason why a divorce hasn't happened. And it could be because of the optics. It could be the fact that because of the racist element, the royal family do not want this backlash. Because she will come out. She will lie. And unfortunately, because the royal family do not say anything apart from recollections may vary, and the odd little statement, it's as if they're letting her just do what she wants. In the Tom Bower book, Serena basically said she didn't really know much about her. You know, they weren't these kind of bosom buddies that Meghan is portraying her to be. And I'm sorry, you've only got to look at that footage where Meghan's trying to talk to Serena's mum, and Serena's mum is basically doing the Williams version of scarfing. So I don't believe this for a second, that they're these bosom buddies. So I hope you have enjoyed that video, and I hope that you will stay tuned for more. And obviously obviously, I don't know why I suddenly sounded posh then. Obviously, the other chapters in the Tom Bower book, I will still be doing those. So don't forget my live with Trev this Friday. I believe it's going to be 7 p.m. I need to check with him just in case because I think it's like 3 o'clock in the morning there. So I just want to make sure that he's okay with that. And yeah, so I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. So thank you so much, guys. As always, thank you to everybody who has bought me a cup of tea. Thank you to everybody who is joining up as a member. Thank you to everybody who is becoming a subscriber, who is just enjoying my videos and liking them. Because if you do like this, please do give it a thumbs up, because it really does help the algorithm. So thank you to everybody who's coming across and being a Patreon. Don't forget that the perks that you get for joining up as a member and Patreon and part of the Bubble Tea Club, you get your honestly, your name on the Bubble member board, which goes on at the end of the video. So please look there to make sure that your name is on there. If I haven't got your name on there, it's because I haven't finished going through the list yet, but there will be more going on at the end of this week. So thank you to everybody who has bought some of my merchandise. Thank you to, well, just all of you, for the people that are sending me things. If you have sent me something, I will say this, because I just had a lady say that she sent something from Australia, and apparently it's held at a sorting office. I am trying to sort this out. So if you have sent me something and you've not heard from me, please get in contact, because there might be a bit of an issue. I don't know, because I certainly don't want you to think that you've sent me something and I haven't bothered to even send you a thank you. So please let me know if you have sent me something. Email me or write in the comments and I will sort this out if there's a problem. So as always, thank you to all of you, and I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Mwah. Bye, Bubble family.